Hey everybody, it's Maggie from Personal Euphoria with today's plank story. So if you don't want to plank, you're going to sit or stand nice and tall with both arms out in front. You're going to pull one hand to your armpit like you're stringing a bow to your shoulder. And as you do that, you're going to twist, reach back, look back, and reach that hand behind you, and then come back and return, squaring off your shoulders and reaching forward. So pull to the armpit. Look back over your shoulder as you reach and return. And do one side like 5 times and then the other side. So instead of alternating, repeat the same side. All right, so I'm late to the party on this. You may already know all about everything I'm going to say because you may have seen Out of Africa when it came out in 1985, but I had never seen it. And then for my birthday this year, a friend of mine gave me the book because he said he knew I loved Africa and memoirs. And I had no idea the movie was based on a real story. It made me much more interested in it. So I finished the book last week, and Matt and I watched the movie. And I'd recommend both. The book is beautifully written, but a little disjointed because she doesn't like go in chronological order. And she doesn't necessarily explain who people are in relation to her. The movie is beautiful and a lovely story that doesn't feel dated, which is a testament to the author because she asks such profound questions throughout her book that it kind of holds the test of time. They change the questions because in the movie, the brunt of the story is the focus of her love affair with this guy. And that's really what it's based on. When I read the book, she talks about this guy. I did not know they were having an affair. One of my clients had to tell me. And at first I thought I missed something. But as I read the book, I'm like, no, she doesn't really make that clear. And she only mentions her husband once. In the book, her love affair is really Africa, which is beautiful. But I think the reason it holds up is she asks questions about the relations between these Europeans and these tribal people and the lifestyle of Europeans versus tribes and nomads. Questions about death, questions about who will remember us, how we're remembered. And she's imperfect. That's one of the things that makes it great. Like, she is a strong, incredibly strong woman who does a lot of interesting things. And then other times you read it, even in her own writing, she seems very selfish and not making the choice you'd think like someone should make. And I like that because it just humanizes her. But the fact that it was all real made me much more interested in it. And so after the movie, because it took a different angle, I was curious, like, well, what do they know? I know the book is accurate, at least from her perspective. From the movie, what did they change? What's accurate from other sources they have? And in doing just a little bit of research, I found out her husband, who's kind of made out to be like this jerk in the movie, who's mooching off her money, that's a little misleading. He had invested in this farm. They shared a lot, wanted to sell it because it wasn't doing well. She didn't want to. So all his money's tied into it with her. He was apparently such an incredible hunter, game hunter, that Ernest Hemingway made him a character in one of his books. I don't mean to totally let him off the hook because he did give her syphilis, so not great. The guy she's having an affair with, he is having an affair simultaneously with another woman who apparently has a book, who's like one of the first female aviators. So she sounds like a fascinating woman. He's getting them pregnant interchangeably. And when you're watching the movie, it really does seem like all these expats in Africa are all sleeping with each other. So I looked up that, and that was accurate. They were apparently known, and there's a movie about this, I guess, called The Happy Valley Set or Club. And they were these wealthy Europeans who had moved to Africa right around the time of colonization, and they were drinking heavily, carousing, sleeping with everyone, and doing heavy drugs like heroin. And so it just, I think some interesting stories for sure came out of that. But this all came from a movie that I had just missed because I was like 4 when it came out. So if you haven't read Out of Africa, I'd recommend it. And if you haven't seen the movie, it's just beautiful. And then you can go into all these little rabbit holes from it if you're interested. Have a great evening and keep moving.